We will not be deterred by terrorists. We will not let them stop our mission. We will continue the evacuation.
With just a few days until the August 31st evacuation deadline, the crisis on the ground in Afghanistan only getting worse. And now lawmakers are calling for President Biden's resignation over his mismanaged withdrawal. And, and yesterday, 13 Americans died. Arkansas Republican Senator Tom Cotton served in Afghanistan and is a member of the Senate Armed Services Committee. He joins us from the D.C. area. Senator, good morning to you.
Morning, Steve. Good to be on with you.
Good to have you as well. Senator, yesterday, as this was unfolding, I mean, people were watching television trying to figure out what exactly happened with these twin suicide bombers yesterday. And for 5 or 6 hours, we had nothing from the president. I mean, on Twitter, "Where's Joe Biden?" was trending. Where was he? I mean, we heard from the White House he was conferring with people in the Situation Room, but at the same time, yesterday was a day we needed to hear from him.
Yeah, Steve, where he should have been is trying to take stock of the consequences of his disastrous miscalculation for this disorganized, ill-planned, chaotic withdrawal from Afghanistan. I've been warning for 2 weeks now that we can't trust the Taliban to conduct security at the airport or to help secure our citizens in Kabul. And we saw the consequences of that yesterday. Again, remember, we apparently gave the names of American citizens and Afghans and partner citizens as well to the Taliban to help them get through screening checkpoints. Just think about how insane that is. That's like giving the Taliban a hit list for our people and our partners. But also, if we're trusting them to screen people to get to the airport, how did that suicide bomber get through the Taliban screening point? So we need to hold not only the terrorists who committed this atrocity accountable, we need to hold the Taliban accountable for it as well.
Well, you know, Senator, it was the guys at the Pentagon who said, yeah, this is a good idea. Let's have the Taliban, who are terrorists, we'll have them protecting our people. And then, to your point, it looks as if yesterday the bad guys were able to get past the Taliban. And who knows, maybe one of the guys goes, oh, that's the guy. Let him in. We don't know. We just know that the president says, I'm going to find you and bring you to justice. But to do that, they would really have to put boots on the ground again. And that's the last thing Joe Biden wants to do.
Yeah, Steve, this also goes back to Joe Biden's decision to close Bagram Air Base last year. Now, I've been to Bagram. It is a very large and a very secure base. It has hundreds, if not thousands of yards of standoff from civilians or other approaches to it. It would have been much easier to secure that airbase than it is to secure the airport in downtown Kabul, where streets are running right along the fences. But again, it gets back to what you said. It's all about Joe Biden's desire to get as many troops out of Afghanistan as quickly as possible without regard for the security consequences or the safety of our citizens on the ground or our partners or those Afghans who served alongside us and who have been approved and vetted to come into this country. What Joe Biden needs to do now is reverse course. He needs to stay at that airport as long as necessary, reopen Bagram if necessary, to make sure we get every last American citizen out of Afghanistan, right, and that we bring to justice those who killed 13 brave American troopers.
Right. I'm sure you were listening to the president when he finally did go into the East Room and he made comments at the end. He took some questions, and Peter Doocy did ask him a question about, the buck stops here and responsibility. And he said, I take responsibility, and then he blamed Donald Trump. And then Peter Doocy, according to the Media Research Center, because there was crosstalk and nobody had the transcript, then Peter said, Donald Trump is not the president anymore, Mr. President. And that's when Joe Biden put his hand down in his head. But nonetheless, Joe Biden, even after the worst day for our personnel in a very long time, is blaming the former president.
Yeah, it's disgraceful, Steve. Joe Biden is the president. He said last week in one of his speeches, the buck stops here. Yet he keeps trying to pass the buck to every person he can find, whether it's Donald Trump or Afghanistan's military or political leaders, or for that matter, Afghans who are trying to flee the Taliban for not getting out fast enough. It's Joe Biden who's responsible for the catastrophe you see in Afghanistan.
All right. Well, you know, yesterday was a terrible day, and we still have a number of days as the evacuation continues. Fingers crossed that things go better than they did yesterday. Senator, thank you very much for joining us.